A very good afternoon to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is the 2nd of June 2024, Sunday class. So we'll be continuing our sharing from our Heart Sutra book, the second edition. We are at lesson 6, page 36. Okay, as usual, let us compose our mind, develop the Saddha, Virya, then mindfully we shall commence the Puja chanting. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无弥勒佛。南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨。อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวะพุทธังภะคะวันตังอะภิวาเทมิสวากาโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมมัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตุติยมปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิตุติยมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตุติยมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยมปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิอาทินาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิกาเมสุมิจฉาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิมุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิสุราเมรยามัจจาปมาดตานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิสาธุสาธุสาธุ Okay, let's pay respect triple jam. Bedang pujemi. Dhammang pujemi. Sanghang pujemi. Just relax body and mind. Then maintain some more attention and we will start the class. Lesson 6, Heart Sutra class. We are at page 36, Heart Sutra, second edition. So this is our usual Sunday class. where we used to hold it at Wu Bing Jing Se. And the date for the 6th Heart Sutra class was 18th of March 2012, which is more than 12 years ago. So the time for the class usually start at 3 and at 6. So this is a Dhamma meditation class. So usually the first session is Dhamma Sharing. Then for our case is Dhamma Sharing on the Heart Sutra class, following the commentaries of Master Xuan Hua. Then after that, we usually will have a 45 minutes of pure awareness-based meditation to train our awareness nature and to stabilize it. And for those who already know how to do it, they can continue with the meditative training to progress further. And after that is the second session, which is usually meditation reporting, followed by whatever question one may have on Q&A session. Then in between the Q&A, you can also share your experience of whatever Dhamma you have encountered. We call it Dhamma in daily life. So that is the summary of what the Sunday class is. Okay, now we start. Part 1, Heart Sutra Lesson 6, Introduction 3, page Romanized 22 to 26 of Master Xuan Hua's commentaries. So this is a recap. In the opening commentary on the Heart Sutra, or Heart of Prajna Paramita Sutta, Xuan Hua stated this. The Heart of Prajna Paramita Sutta, with verse without a stand and prose commentary, consists of 3 parts. So the first part is the sutra text itself. Then second part is Venerable Master Xuan Hua's verse explanation. Then the third part is the Master's lectured commentary on the text and verses. Then here is a summary of what Master Xuan Hua has done for this Heart Sutra. According to Master Xuan Hua, this Heart Sutra is an essential summary of the Mahayana Buddhism's teaching on true emptiness. The Heart Sutra is nothing less than a summation of the wisdom of Lord Buddha. It distills perfectly the teaching of non-attachment, which is the doctrine of emptiness. As the Venerable Master Xuan Hua said in his commentary, pay attention to this. He said, only the most advanced of masters can expect to grasp the full importance of the sutta by itself, without the aid of a teacher, where this teaching is the heart in the heart, within the heart. It's very true. The Heart Sutra is the perfection of Wisdom Sutta. So if you have not developed a very good understanding of this particular spiritual understanding, there is no way you can expect to grasp the full importance of the sutta, which means it's not easy to teach the sutta. That's why here I mentioned Bharatiya also concur with Master Xuan Hua's statement and also said, this part I think once you can do this, you are sure to have the understanding. This Dhamma must be delivered from the heart spontaneously and not through any prior planning via memory. Otherwise, it's only knowledge and not wisdom. So this is where the difference is. Understanding is wisdom, not knowledge. If it's knowledge, it's all held at the brain through memories. But when you understand, you don't have to rely on memory. You can rely on your understanding from the heart. Spontaneously, the understanding can arise. Then we move on to the criteria for translation. So here, Master Shenhua has laid out 8 guidelines for his Buddhist Text Translation Society, or BTTS. So the important criteria for translating the Heart Sutra, or Heart of Prajna Paramita Sutta, as adopted by Master Shenhua, are the 8 guidelines of his Buddhist Text Translation Society. So the first one is, a volunteer must free himself or herself from the motive of personal fame or profit. Otherwise, you cannot do a proper translation. Then number 2, a volunteer must cultivate a respectful and sincere attitude, free from arrogance and conceit. So this one is also a very important criteria. Then the third one is, a volunteer must refrain from aggrandizing his or her work and denigrating that of others. The fourth criteria is, a volunteer must not establish himself or herself as a standard of correctness and try to suppress the work of others with his or her fault finding. Then number 5, a volunteer must take the Buddha mind as his or her own mind. Number 6, a volunteer must use the wisdom of Dhamma selecting vision to determine true principles. So this wisdom of Dhamma selecting vision is very important. If you don't have the cultivation, you cannot do that. Then number 7 is also very important. A volunteer must request virtuous elders in the 10 directions to certify his or her translation. Then lastly, a volunteer must endeavor to propagate the teachings by printing sutras or shastras texts and Vinaya texts when the translation are certified as being correct. So these are the 8 criteria. When there is condition to share the translated Dhamma, one must share, thus allowing the translation to benefit more living beings. This is what Shenhua hold on to as their criteria and principles. Then part 2 was the sharing on that day. So it was based on the Angulimala Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya 86, translated from the Pali text by Thanissaro Bhikkhu. So we will go through the Angulimala Sutta, but this sutta is very useful. So the sutta said, thus have I heard that on one occasion, the Blessed One, was staying near Savatthi at Jeta Grove, Anandapindika's monastery, and at that time a king, Pasenandi's reign. There was a bandit named Angulimala. He is brutal, bloody-handed, devoted to killing and slaying, show no mercy to living beings. He turned village into non-village, town into non-towns, settled countryside into unsettled countryside, having repeatedly killed human beings. He wore a grand garland, and this one, the translation at that time was mala. That's why Angulimala. Anguli means finger, make of finger. Mala, garland, make of finger. Then the Blessed One, early in the morning, having put on his robes, and carrying out his outer robe and bowl, went into Savatthi for alms. Having wandered for alms in Savatthi and returning from his alms round, after his meal, he set his lodging in order. Carrying his robe and bag, he went along the road where Angulimala was staying. Then the villagers, out of concern, they shouted. Cowherds, shepherds, and farmers saw him going along the road to where Angulimala was staying, and on seeing him said to him, "Don't go along that road contemplative, for that road is Angulimala. He is brutal, bloody-handed, devoted to killing, slaying, shows no mercy to living beings. He turned village into non-village, town into non-town, settled countryside into unsettled countryside. Having repeatedly killed human beings, he wore a garland made of fingers. Groups of 10, 20, 30, 40 men had gone along that road, and even they have fallen to Angulimala's hand. When this was said, the Blessed One kept going in silence. Then they repeated a second time, a third time. Then Angulimala saw the Blessed One coming from afar, and on seeing him, this thought occurred to him. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it astounding? Groups of 10, 20, 30, 40 had gone along this road, and even they have fallen into my hand. And yet now this contemplative come attacking, as it were alone and without a companion. Why don't I kill him? So Angulimala, taking up his sword and shed, buckling on his bow and quill, followed right behind the Blessed One. Then the Blessed One revealed a fate of psychic ability or phenomena, such that Angulimala, though running with all his might, could not catch up with the Blessed One walking at normal pace. Then the thought occurred to Angulimala, isn't it strange or amazing? Isn't it astounding? In the past, I have chased and seized even a swift-running elephant, a swift-running horse, a swift-running chariot, a swift-running deer. But now, even though I am running with all my might, I can't catch up with this contemplative walking at normal pace. So he stopped, and he called out to the Blessed One, "Stop, contemplative, stop." The Buddha replied, "I have stopped, Angulimala. It is you who haven't stopped." Then the thought occurred to Angulimala. These second contemplative are speakers of truth, exerters of truth, and yet this contemplative, even while walking, said, "I have stopped, Angulimala. It is you who haven't stopped. Why don't I question him?" So Angulimala the bandit addressed this verse to the Blessed One. He said to the Buddha, "While walking contemplative, you said I have stopped. But when I have stopped, you say I haven't. I ask you the meaning of this. How have you stopped? How have I not?" Then the Buddha replied, "I have stopped, Angulimala, once and for all, having cast off violence towards all living beings. You are still unrestrained towards living beings. That's how I have stopped, and you haven't." Then Angulimala, at long last, replied. He said, "At long last, a greatly revered great cheer, for my sake, has come to this great forest. Having heard your verse in line with the Dhamma, I will also abandon all evil. So saying, the bandit hurled his sword and weapon over a cliff into a James pit. Then the bandit paid homage to the feet of the Blessed One, or one well gone, and right there request the going forth, or to be accepted as an ordained disciple of the Buddha. The awakened one, the compassionate great seer, the teacher of the world along with his devas, said to him then, "Come, bhikkhu." That in itself was bhikkhuhood for you. Then the Blessed One set out wandering towards Savatthi with Venerable Angulimala as his attendant monk. After wandering by stages, he reached Savatthi, and there he lived, near Savatthi in Jeta Grove, Anandapindika's monastery. Now at that time, a large crowd of people, loud and noisy, had gathered at the gate of King Pasenandi, Kosala's inner palace, calling out, "There's a bandit in your reign, sir, named Angulimala, brutal, bloody-handed, devoted to killing and slaying, show no mercy to living beings. He turns village into non-village, town into non-town, settled countryside into unsettled countryside. Having repeatedly killed human beings, he wears a garland made of fingers. The king must stamp him out." Then King Pasenandi of Kosala, with a cavalry of roughly 500 horsemen, drove out to Savatthi and entered the monastery. Driving as far as the ground was possible for chariots, he got down from his chariot and went on foot to the Blessed One. On arrival, having bowed down, he sat to one side. As he was sitting there, the Blessed One said to him, "What is it, great king? Has King Saniya Bimbisara of Magadha promoted you, or have the Lichavis of Vasali, or some other hostile king?" Then the reply came. He said, "No, the king of Saniya Bimbisara of Magadha hasn't promoted me, nor has the Lichavis of Vasali, nor has some other hostile king. But I was told there is a bandit in my reign, Lord, named Angulimala, brutal, bloody-handed, devoted to killing and slaying, show no mercy to living beings. He has turned village into non-village, town into non-towns, settled countryside into unsettled countryside. Having repeatedly killed human beings, he wears a garland made of fingers. I'm going to stamp him out." Great king, the Buddha told Pasenandi of Kosala, the king Pasenandi of Kosala. He said, "Great king, suppose you were to see Angulimala with his hair, beard shaved, or wearing the robe, having gone from the home line into the homeless line. Refrain from killing living beings. Refrain from taking what is not given. Refrain from telling lies, living the holy life of 1 meal a day, virtuous and of fine character. What would you do to him?" Then surprisingly, the king Pasenandi of Kosala said, "We would bow down to him, Lord, or rise up to greet him, or offer him a seat, or offer him robes, alms food, lodging, or medical requisite for curing illness, or we would arrange a lawful guard, protection, and defense. But how could there be such a virtuous and restrained in an unvirtuous, evil character?" Now at that time, Venerable Angulimala was sitting not far from the Blessed One. So the Blessed One, pointing with his right arm, said to King Pasenandi of Kosala, "That great king is Angulimala." Then King Pasenandi of Kosala was frightened, terrified. His hair stand on end. So the Blessed One, sensing the king's fear and hair raising awe, said to him, "Don't be afraid, great king, don't be afraid. He poses no danger to you." Then the king's fear, his terror, his hair standing on end subsided. He went over to venerable Angulimala and said, "Are you really Angulimala, Lord?" Then Angulimala replied, "Yes, great king." "What is your father's clan? What is your mother's clan?" "My father is Gaga, great king, and my mother is Mantani." "Then may Master Gaga Mantani Buddha delight in staying here. I will be responsible for your robes, alms, food, lodging, and medical requisites for curing illnesses." Now, it so happened that at that time Venerable Angulimala was a wilderness dweller, an armed goer, wearing one set of triple robe made of cast of cloth. So he said to King Pasenandi of Kosala, "And now, great king, my triple robe is complete." So King Pasenandi went to the Blessed One, and on arrival, having bowed down, sat to one side. As he was sitting there, he said to the Blessed One, "It's amazing, Lord. It's astounding how the Blessed One had tamed the untamed, pacified the unpeaceful, and brought into unbinding those who were not unbound. For what would not tame even with blunt or bladed weapon? The Blessed One had tamed without blunt and bladed weapon. Now, Lord, we must go. Many are our duties, many are our responsibilities." Then the Buddha said, "Then do, great king. What do you think it is now time to do?" Then King Pasenanda got up from his seat, bowed down to the Blessed One, and keeping him to his right, departed. Then Venerable Angulimala, early in the morning, having put on his robe and carrying his outer robe and bowl, went to Savatthi for alms. As he was going from home to home for alms, he saw a woman suffering a breech birth. On seeing her, the thought occurred to him, "How tormented are living beings! How tormented are living beings!" Then, having wandered for alms in Savatthi and returning from his alms round, arrived after his meal, he went to the Blessed One. On arrival, having bowed down to the Buddha, he sat to one side. As he was sitting there, he said to the Blessed One, "Just now, Lord, early in the morning, having put on my clothes and carrying out my outer robe and bowl, I went to Savatthi for alms. As I was going from home to home for alms, I saw a woman suffering a breech birth. On seeing her, the thought occurred to me, how tormented are living beings! How tormented are living beings!" Then the Buddha said to Angulimala, "In that case, Angulimala, go to that woman." And on arrival said to her, "Sister, since I was born, I do not recall intentionally killing a living being. Through this truth, may there be well-being for you, well-being for your fetus." "But Lord," Angulimala said, "wouldn't that be a lie for me? For I have intentionally killed many living beings before." Then in that case, Angulimala, go to the woman, and on arrival say to her, "Sister, since I was born in a noble birth," means after he determined to follow the Buddha and go for ordination, "I do not recall intentionally killing a living being." By the power of this truth, may there be well-being for you, well-being for your fetus. Responding, Angulimala said, as you said, Lord, to the Blessed One, Angulimala went to the woman, and an arrival said to her, Sisters, since I was born in the noble birth, I do not recall intentionally killing a living being. Through this, may there be well-being for you, well-being for your fetus. And there was well-being for both the woman and well-being for her fetus. That's why this Angulimala Sutta become very famous. So a lot of people have faith in this sutta, where it invokes the power of truth. Then Angulimala, Venerable Angulimala, dwelling alone, secluded, heedful, ardent, and resolute, in no long time reach and remain in the supreme goal of the holy life, for which clansmen rightfully go forth from home into homeless, knowing and realizing it for himself in the here and the now. He knew birth is ended, the holy life fulfilled, task done. There is nothing further for the sake of this world. And thus Venerable Angulimala became another one of the Arahants when he realized Arahantaship. Then Venerable Angulimala early in the morning put on his robe and carrying his outer robe and bath, went into Savatthi for alms. Now at that time, a cloth thrown by one person hit Venerable Angulimala on the body. A stone thrown by another hit him on the body, and a pot's head thrown by still another hit him on the body. So Venerable Angulimala, his head broken up and dripping with blood, his bowl broken, and his outer robe ripped to shreds, went to the Blessed One. The Blessed One saw him coming from afar, and on seeing him said to him, bear with it, Brahman, bear with it. The fruit of karma that would have burned you in hell for many, many years, many hundred years, many thousand years, you are now experiencing in the here and the now. Then Venerable Angulimala, having gone alone into seclusion, experienced the bliss of release. At that time he exclaimed, who once was heedless, but later is not, brightens the world like the moon, set free from a cloud. His evil done deed is replaced with skillfulness. He brightens the world like the moon set free from the cloud. Whatever young monk devotes himself to the Buddha's abiding, he brightens the world with the moon set free from the cloud. So this is a Dhammapada saying. The reason why this sutta is very unique, special, and important is you look at the sutta. It's a story of Angulimala, who is brutal, violent, and he killed so many. He almost killed 1,000. To be correct, it was 999. The last one, actually, according to the commentaries, he has a choice to either kill the mother who was there, or later he saw the Buddha coming. That's why he chose to go after the Buddha instead of the mother. And that was the reason why the Buddha went there. Because the Buddha actually every morning survey the world and can foresee that this thing is coming. And there is condition to help Angulimala. That's why he went that way. And the uniqueness of this story is when the Buddha went there, then Angulimala thought, how strange such a being is it? Means he's a contemplative, a monk, who actually trying to seek answer to life and other things, not a fighter, tame contemplative, dare to go the way where he has killed so many people. Even the group of 10, 20, 30, also they couldn't escape from him. Then he decided to go after the Buddha. But because of the Buddha's ability to give rise to that psychic ability to make sure that Angulimala does not catch up with him while walking. So Angulimala actually can sense already. Then Angulimala decided to shout out to the Buddha, contemplative, he said, stop, contemplative, stop. Then the Buddha replied, while walking, I have stopped long ago. It is you who have not stopped. So Angulimala was thinking, the Sakya family, the contemplative means the Buddha at that time was famous for his words. He never lied. Then he decided to question the Buddha. He said, stop. He said, how can you say while walking you have stopped? And when I have decided to stop to shower at you, you say I haven't stopped. I want to understand why you say that. It's indirectly like telling the Buddha, for the first time, the Sakya contemplative lie. But the Buddha replied beautifully, he said, Angulimala, he said, when I say I have stopped, means I have long ago stopped killing, stopped violence, stopped causing harm to fellow living beings. But you, physically you have stopped, but your violence, your brutalness, you have not stopped. Then upon hearing that, because this Angulimala actually is quite wise, but because of karmic past, he followed a wrong teacher who also have a intent to take revenge on him because of something. And that was the story I heard from Reverend Suwano in the early 80s, I think, or 90s. So because of that, he was told by the teacher, he said, you can kill 1,000 people and bring their fingers to him. Then he can teach him the way to realize enlightenment, something to that effect. And he was so naive and sincere, that's why he followed that instruction. Then not until when he saw what happened when he chased after the Buddha, the Sakya contemplative, then he realized the strange phenomena that he knew. Who would have taken the trouble to risk his life to come all the way to his dwelling to let him kill? And yet when he tried, run with his mind, he couldn't even keep up with the Buddha's walking footsteps. He knew something very exceptional has happened. That's why he straight away proclaimed and thanked the Buddha. At last, he said, the great Seer has appeared out of love and compassion for him to come and save him. That's why he decided to surrender himself and take refuge under the Buddha and follow him. So that was one of the great story. But not only that, after he became an ordained disciple of the Buddha, he actually was abused. But initially it was not that serious because he was protected by the Buddha, and the king, Pasenandi of Kosala, also over there, to actually find out what happened. Then finally everything settled down. That's why he was able to continue with his monk's ordination life. Then he became enlightened. He realized Arandashi. But then the moment he realized Arandashi, the karmic past has to surface. Because once you become an Arahant, you will no longer take birth, rebirth after that, unless you take the Bodhisattva way. So what happened was, this karmic retribution has to happen. That's why it triggered off the causes and conditions for him to be harmed and wounded. And when he was bleeding, he went towards the Buddha and wanted to inform the Buddha the situation and all those things. Then the Buddha told him, he said, "Oh Brahman, you must patiently endure. Because this is the replacement of your karmic retribution. Otherwise you would have suffered in hell for many years or long period. And that hell suffering is a lot worse. So because of that, Angulimala endured and passed away peacefully, realizing cessation of form and mind, became an Arahant. Because he's an Arahant, that's why he can actually cease and free. So the story here is the Dhammapadas were saying that no matter how evil you are in the past, as long as you determine to change over from heedless to heedfulness, from heedlessness to heedfulness, it's like the moon surface from the cloud and shine brightly. So this is how you will develop the faith. Don't always say, "Oh, this spiritual path is not for me. I have a lot of evil karma. I have a lot of evil negativity of karmic or whatever." You can ask yourself, are you as evil and as brutal as Angulimala? Even Angulimala, in that state of mind, that birth, can also transform, turn around and become an Arahant. So, as long as there is this understanding to change, the determination to change, great things are possible. So that's the reason why I say this Angulimala Sutta is very unique. So bear in mind. Then how he invoked the power of truth. He said, ever since he was born into the noble birth, means after he received ordination, he cannot recall having any intention to kill or harm. And by the power of that truth, he invoked power of truth, and it became very powerful. That's why the lady that was having the breech birth was able to deliver successfully. Both the mother and the child, both safely delivered. So when we learn the Dhamma, we develop such understanding that will give faith to devotees, to cultivators of the way, so that they will not deludedly believe their thoughts because of certain things that they have done in the past. They dare not strive on, they dare not change. They have this thought due to karmic obstruction that blind them or obstruct them, saying, "This way is not for me, where I cannot. I'm a terrible person," and all those things. So all these are deluded thinking, heedless deluded thinking, not truth that can be developed and understood. So this Angulimala Sutta stands out as a very important sutta for many cultivators of the way. They have already given up hope of possibility of salvation for themselves. So this can actually act as a very important sutta to turn things around. Okay, so we will move on. Second part is more interesting. Pain in the leg during meditation. So this one, I think a lot of meditators or so-called cultivator of the way face this type of problem during meditation. So there was a question by one of the devotees of Kayamita. He said, while sitting in half lotus for some time, the pain of the leg becomes unbearable. And then when I started to chant, the original pain ceases. But a more severe pain arises in another part of the leg. Then the question, why? So my reply, you listen. First, you must understand what meditation is and what you are doing in the name of meditation means your purpose and intent. If you are not clear about this, you cannot meditate correctly or efficiently. So I mentioned here, if you don't have such an understanding, then there is this tendency to react to unpleasant sensation or feeling that arise during meditation, then thereby labeling it as pain. As we all know, pain is an aversion or an ill will. So ill will is one of the mental hindrances of mind that will hinder your mind from entering the meditative state of inner peace and inner calmness. As such, you are already caught or trapped by such labeling. Because of your dislike towards that unpleasant sensation, your mind will try to do something else, like chanting, to either suppress it or make it go away. As chanting is just another skillful means to train the mind, and it is still within the field of thought. Hence, by doing so, you have lost your focus, because meditation consists of two parts. The first part is to develop the training of the mind to be constantly aware, leading to heedfulness, so that focus must not be lost. Then the second step or second part is to use that trained mind to meditate or cultivate the meditation as taught by the Buddha, which is the cultivation of the Noble Eightfold Path. Understanding this will enable you to just silence your mind and patiently relax your body and mind to allow the sensation to be without any like or dislike for that sensation, where it is of the nature of this body to develop that sensation if you do not know how to relax and enable the chi to flow through the blockage at your crossed leg. Then when you are able to understand this and endure and allow the sensation to be without labeling it, then there is no mental hindrance. Then what happens is, when there is no mental hindrance to disturb you, then your sati, which is mindfulness, will take over. And this can result in a shift of consciousness to cease the so-called painful sensation. So just be aware or mindful. Always maintain awareness to observe what is going on within your form and mind, and to investigate via mindfulness to understand how the movement of mind from one state to another comes to be. That is to understand how the stirring of the mind comes to be, and how the mind can be conditioned into negativity, emotion, selfishness, and fear, etc. via delusion or scarcity, self-delusion, upon seeing something or hearing something or thinking of something. So this is mindfulness. When you have developed mindfulness, then you can see clearly the movement. Then under the teaching 3.2, there are 5 ways to overcome negative, unwholesome thought. Means the wrong thought, like painful feeling, aversion, ill will, anger, hatred, jealousy, fear, worry, anxiety. All these are unwholesome thoughts with evil roots. So the Buddha taught actually 5 ways to the cultivator of the way, how we can overcome unwholesome thought. That's why in the teaching, we are taught the 4 right effort. The first right effort is the right effort to abandon the unwholesome thought that has the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion that has arisen. Once it has arisen, you have to abandon it. So that is the first right effort. You have to work towards that. And how to overcome or abandon the unwholesome thought that has the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion is to understand these 5 ways that the Buddha has taught, especially the first 4. Then you can actually do it. So now I will go through the 5 ways to overcome negative or unwholesome thought that has the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. First is to think of the direct opposite, wholesome thought. Take for example, if there is anger in you, deep resentment in you, then develop loving kindness. Or if there is cruelty, then develop compassion. And if there is fear, develop faith. So all these are skillful means, or what the Buddha said, you can only do one thing at a time. When you have metta in your mind state, you cannot get angry. Right? It's only when you do not understand what is going on, then you continue to allow the wrong thought to condition your negative emotion. That's how your wrong thought, your negative, unwholesome thought arise. So when you understand all this, you can use your understanding to reverse them all. That's why loving kindness or metta is a good way to overcome anger, hatred, emotion, and all those things. So when you radiate metta very often, your mind state pervades the world, and the 10 benefits of metta cultivation will protect you. So the first way, although is effective, but it is still thought-based. What I mean is, whenever you have a problem like anger, hatred, envy, jealousy, or fear, then you have to find yourself a quiet place, settle down and think of the direct opposite thought. Then what happens is, after that, maybe you become peaceful, like your metta take over, then gone. But then you have not developed the wisdom to free from those unwholesome thought or negative thought, like anger, hatred. Then in future, when you encounter similar situation, you again get angry, become emotional, fearful, greedy, selfish. So it's just a temporary thought-based approach, the first way. Then the Buddha introduced the second way to overcome unwholesome thought. He said, contemplate into it, reflect into it. Think of the consequence of holding on to the unwholesome thought or evil roots that has the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. So what happens is, if you do not abandon them, then the evil roots, which are the roots of all evil, will condition you to become an evil person. For example, anger can condition you into hatred and violence. An angry person can kill, harm, and abuse others. Is that what you want? This is negativity or karma. So when you think of the consequence or danger of holding on to that wrong thought, then it will immediately allow you to have the understanding to abandon it. Then you will determine to abandon it. So through understanding, you can abandon it. But this understanding is not the complete understanding. This understanding is only understanding the danger or consequence of having that wrong thought or negative thought that has the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion in you, and how it can cause evil consequence that lead to negativity or karma. So both first and second way are still thought-based approach, which is not a permanent fix. Then there is a third way that the Buddha taught. This third way is the meditative approach. This one is a permanent fix. But this one also, unless you have your past cultivation, after you develop it, you will awaken to it and understand it. Otherwise, you have to go for the fourth way. The third and the fourth way is a complete solution to all negativity of mind state or wrong thought. So the third way, the Buddha said, no need to do anything. No need to fight the emotion. Because according to the Buddha, anger is not you, hatred is not you, fear is not you. These are mind states that arise through causes and conditions. They are dependent originating. They are not intrinsic within your nature. They come and they go. Through understanding, they will cease. So what the Buddha said is, if they are not intrinsic within your nature, then what is your nature? Your nature is pure awareness without thought. So why not stay with your nature? Then whatever that is not within the nature will cease. That's how he teach. So the third way, he just advised the monk, relax and maintain awareness. We are just letting things be. Means let it be. So when you are able to let things be, then there is no more wrong thought, no more wrong negativity of mind state to condition that evil thought to continue to manifest. And due to that, you can observe clearly how that emotion that arises through wrong thoughts cease when the causes and condition is no more there. So relax and maintain awareness. We are just let things be. And this is the meditative way born of wisdom that understand the natural state of mind before the stirring is already the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness, and silent inner awareness. And the flowering of thought is the very ending of that thought. So this natural state of mind refers to our true mind, the silent mind. Before thought arises, before the conditioning, the activity of mind, the sankhara movement arises. So when you can stay within, that's why relaxation and maintaining awareness, the first two support is very important. Then the third support is to stabilize the awareness nature so that you stay with the true mind. You do not get lost in the thinking mind. And without wisdom, the thinking mind becomes heedless. It entangles itself and becomes heedless. And it will condition negativity of mind state, thereby entangling the living beings. So this third way is the easiest and the best. So when you stay with it, means when you are angry, emotional, or when you will have fear. You try it. Silence your mind completely and stay with the emotion. Whether it's an anger or fear or whatever, stay with it. No thought, nothing, stay with it. Makes the awareness and the thing as one. And then you see what happens. Then, like I said, the natural state of mind before the stirring is already the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness, and silent inner awareness. And the flowering of that emotion or thought is the very ending of that thought. Then you realize all of a sudden your mind state at the heart there become very still, very quiet, very peaceful. And the whole emotion is gone. Then you realize this is your original mind, your true mind, your silent inner awareness, which is tranquil, still, peaceful. And then when you realize this mind, then you realize the original state, which is anger or hatred or emotion, which can be fear or whatever, they are not intrinsic. They come and they go. They are dependent, originating, condition arising, cause of phenomena. That's why don't be deluded. Anger is not you. Fear is not you. All the emotions that arise, they are not you. So do not be foolish by saying that after meditating for so many years, I still have fear, I still have anger, I still have hatred, I still have selfish. That is delusion. They were never you in the first place. But to realize that, you must develop this third way. That's why sati is very important. Mindfulness is very important. Without sati, without mindfulness, you cannot realize this beautiful understanding. To realize this beautiful understanding, you must relax and maintain awareness. Means be with it, stay with that activity or emotion. Silence your mind, develop the awareness of it, and let the awareness stay with it. When the awareness and the phenomena become one, there is no thought to allow it to continue to proliferate and stir and move. And then the very flowering of that thought or emotion is the very ending of that emotion. Then you see how it ceases. Then you realize, this was not intrinsic in our true nature, our true mind. This is dependent originating emotion that arise through wrong thought, wrong view, wrong understanding. That's how you free. And the third way is the most beautiful. Then when you realize it for maybe one major occasion, then the understanding is very penetrative. Then in future you don't worry about anger, hatred, fear. You just stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. Then it ceases. Then the understanding will stabilize. Then you realize all these are dependent originating, condition arising, the paticca samuppada that the Buddha taught. You start to see them because you already develop mindfulness, awareness. When you are aware, you can understand. When you are not aware, you are lost in thought. You use the thought to reason, to rationalize, to actually analyze. All this will not give rise to understanding. It will lead to more entanglement, where these are all thought-based, knowledge-based. Then after the third way, the Buddha continued to actually allow you to develop the wisdom. He said you must continue to be mindful, to trace the origination factor of the unwholesome thought, and then retrospectively reverse it via the cultivation of mindfulness of Dhamma, under the fourth foundation of mindfulness, Dhammanupassana. Third category of practice, that is, we are cultivating the mindfulness of the 6 internal sense bases and the 6 external sense bases. This is to develop the wisdom to free. So in the Dhammanupassana, third category of practice, It is mentioned clearly how you can do it. But the first category of practice also mentioned about the mental hindrance. He said when you continue to maintain mindfulness, you will come to understand how the unarisen mental hindrance comes to be. Means you can trace it, how they arise, like sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness of mind, doubt. So when you silence your mind, then you realize before they arise, there was nothing, peaceful. Then through one of your senses, you realize, either when you see something, hear something, smell something, tactily feel something, or through the thought process, recall something. Then the mind will stir and react. Then sensual desire, ill will, and the other mental hindrance, they come to be. And then you can know how the unarisen sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness of mind or doubt, the five mental hindrance comes to be. It's through your senses, through your wrong view, wrong understanding, and you react to it and you stir. Through your habitual tendency, through your like and dislike, pleasant and unpleasant sense experience, your belief system, your conditioning, your phobia, your fear, your insecurity, all this which you accumulate in the brain, the memory. So when you trace the origination factor already, then you continue to maintain mindfulness or sati, awareness. Then you realize it ceases, like the third way. Then you will come to know how the arisen mental hindrance ceases to be. Then you continue to train along this line. Then you will start to see how the paticca samuppada, the law of dependent origination, arise and pass away, and how all these are dependent originating condition arising phenomena, no reality, not a permanent unchanging entity. He know you, he know me. And then you will awaken. Then through all this understanding, the Buddha said, finally you will come to know how in the future there will be no more arising of this mental hindrance, because you have already understood them. The wisdom is already there. So this is how Dhammanupassana is to be cultivated to develop the wisdom. And the fifth way is not important, but the Buddha still mentioned it. So the Buddha said, if all the above four ways also cannot help you, then there is only one way out. He said, you must use your own self-determination as recommended by the Buddha. So the Buddha said, with clenched teeth, means you determine seriously, and with your tongue against your palate, you should determine strongly to abandon that negative thought. In our Chinese dialect, the Hokkien tradition, cá đéo ghé kín, ngao chi ngà can in Cantonese, you must determine to abandon it. So to me, to say it in another way is like I used to tell Kayamita, if the above four ways that the Buddha has taught you also cannot help you, then you have to do it yourself already. He cannot help you anymore. It's bye-bye to you. Because this sheer determination, unless you really have that understanding, very difficult to do. Even if you do, maybe that time you're free, you can abandon it. But then, it is not a permanent fix. It does not give you the wisdom to allow you to have the understanding to overcome them in the future. So to me, the third and the fourth way are the most effective way. And these are wisdom way, meditative way. The first two are okay, but thought-based, not a permanent fix, but a temporary, like a temporary way out of that negative mind state. Maybe for new practitioner, it may be useful to them. But as you advance in your cultivation, the third way has to be developed. And of course, the fourth way will follow. So the third and the fourth way is what you need to develop. Okay, we move on. Oh, we finish, huh? Just nice. Okay, so we will stop here and mark this page. Always remember the four support to develop awareness-based meditation. Relax, maintain awareness, then silence your mind completely. Don't try to know, don't try to do. Maintain the awareness, stabilize it. The beginning of true meditation only arises after you can stabilize your inner awareness. Otherwise, all the things you do is still thought-based. It's still not awareness-based. That's why sati is very important. You must develop the stability of its inner awareness until it stabilizes and becomes heedfulness. Means you are mindful and heedful throughout the day, most of the time. Means your daily mindfulness stabilizes, and you are most of the time aware, mindful, heedful, and use it to cultivate. The meditation as taught by the Buddha means develop the cultivation of the Noble Eightfold Path, which is basically Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. So the Noble Eightfold Path starts with right view, leading to right thought, right speech, right action, and right livelihood. Then constantly arising the four right efforts, which are very important. Then, of course, developing the four foundation of mindfulness, sati, stabilizing it until it becomes samadhi. Samadhi is a collectedness of mind, unwavering mind. Okay, you all can slowly, mindfully come out of meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. Okay, so now we'll continue your second session, which is meditation reporting, followed by Q&A, whatever question you may have regarding the meditation, the teaching, and also any experience that you have regarding Dhamma in daily life. Okay, now we open it up. Anybody wants to come in, you can come in and share. Report meditation or ask any question or discuss today's topic.
Roberto, this is still an Okalamita.
Yeah.
Thank you for Cheng for not meeting me.
Yeah.
要讲什么？
哦，你有什么东西要问or share also can.
OK，Roberto，我讲一讲我们这个五台山的
那个五台山的 tree 也可以，sadhu。
我们这个五台山的 trip 真的很不容易，因为
对，
这个行程很紧凑，而且
对，
我们大多数都有一点点年纪，所以
对。
那我的感觉是，我们去这一趟五台山很不容易，就是很感恩，因为就是觉得哇，我们很难得才能来到这个地方，
对，
所以我心里面感到很多的感恩。
萨德。
还有就是在我们在五台山这几天的行程里面，感觉有点很紧凑和好像有一点点的怎样讲，就是很紧张啊。说每一天我们回去都感觉很累，所
对对
以都特别的好睡，
对，
就就在我们的行程里面，所有的点点滴滴，我们的所有的团队的团友的大家的交流和什么，我都觉得很难得这样
对，it's
啊。
like
对
meant to be and everything just fall into place 那个是最unique 的，因为 just like what I explained before, when causes and condition is such, things will move by itself. So 就好像我们第一天到了五台山 although the schedule were all like what Sister Alicia mentioned, it was quite tight actually, and every day like we walk a lot and we visit many places. Then of course we do it mindfully too. Then develop the awareness, the faith, and the understanding. But then when it arises certain causes and conditions, especially the first temple that we really visit at Datong, I think the Huayan Si, the temple is very special, very unique. The nature, everything, and the weather condition, all they fall into place. Then everything is like meant to be, and all Kayamita benefited. Even the sister Linda, the one that took us around, the China Taoyu, she also can feel that at that place, the nature is very quiet, very still, and she felt the peace when she was there. Then she liked to visit that temple. Then, of course, there are other temples that are more of cultural nature and related to emperors and not so much of cultivation like the hanging temple and all those things. But then when we reached Uthai San that night, we had a good dinner, then we had a good rest. Then the next morning, supposed to start our hectic visit to many of the peaks, Bei Thai and Tong Thai. But then because of the weather it was raining, so the transport cannot be arranged because they only allow their own van to go up. So because of that, there were circumstances that forced our Taoyu to change the schedule of our program. We need to shift all the program that we supposed to have that day to the next day because of the weather and the unavailability of the vehicle. Then, like I mentioned, whatever that is of the nature to arise is of the nature to manifest the reality. So the reality is such. That's why when they approached me and told me, very sorry, Radhil, we need to change the program and itinerary so as to suit the situation. I said, no problem. This is what Dhamma is. We have to accord and flow. We have to accord and flow. And whatever that arises, initially may appear to be something not so conducive, but it's meant to be, will be. That it really turned out to be beautiful. Because after the transporting cannot be arranged, so we got to revert back to our original bus schedule. Then we move the program backward one day. Then we take the last 2 day program forward at Uthai San forward. And that was meant to be where all those places that we are going to visit they are nearby. No need to go to the peak. And they are very, very beautiful, conducive, and meant to be. Because the weather after the rain that day, that was the only day it rained. And it rained in such a manner that the transport cannot be arranged. Then after that, the weather transformed and become like very conducive. It was like a heavenly setting with a lot of clouds, very misty. Then light it drizzle, and everywhere we go, all the temple we visit, the first few happen to be Kuan Yin temple, and Kuan Yin like this type of setting. Then we met up with a lot of very unexpected thing. One of the Kuan Yin temple, abbot also came out and receive us and talk to us and share a lot of things with us. That's how everything happened. Then many other very conducive things also take place. Then because of that, the next day onward, everybody thought, oh, if that day rain, the next few days might be rain too. But surprisingly, after that, every day was blue sky, sunny, and very beautiful and meant to be. Then when we were there, a lot of things happened, especially at the two peaks, Zhong Tai and Nan Tai. Very beautiful nature's occurrences happened. The weather was so conducive, so beautiful, and especially at Zhong Tai, the monk, you remember, he can sense, and he said, this very unique happening, he said, the weather phenomena is very strange, he said, like very abnormal, but for a good reason. And he also knows it's very auspicious, and he wonder what happened. How come such manifestation of weather and nature's occurrences occur? And that there was blue sky, and at that altitude, almost 3,000 meter higher, no wind, no. Normally it's very windy. At Zhongtai when we were there, it can blow you away. That's why you can be moved by the wind. It's very strong wind and very cold. But that day, it was really bright, sunny blue sky. And the monk knew. Then when he saw us, he inquired where were we from. He said, no wonder. I said, oh, you are the one. Then we were the only group there. And it's like everything fall into place. Then he volunteered to took us around, and a lot of strange thing happened. Then he also had the experience of helping some Kayamita to take the photo of the sun's phenomena and manifestation. He says such auspicious activity or movement can only happen when everything fall into place. It shows and points towards a very like auspicious event. Then he let us do a lot of strange things, light incense for us, then offer us all the candle or everyone to offer at a special place, then advise us to visit the 500 Arahant hall where the relics are all there. Then he also showed us a place where they kept a very specially kept relics, very big, very rare. And he shared with us and blessed everybody, all Kayamita. Then he was full of joy, of course. Then we can feel the stillness of energy there. Very strange, very still. You just have to silence your mind. Within 1-2 seconds, you went in and you can detect the stillness, the tranquility, that nature there. It is very conducive and supportive of our true mind's nature, and you can settle down and merge with the environment very fast. That's why that heart there, the nature for those who are sensitive, they can feel that. And all this just fall into place. Then when we were at Nan Thai also, a lot of beautiful chanting, a lot of beautiful vibration. Then the whole sky also, the cloud formation, is very unique. And we managed to take a lot of very beautiful photos. Then, like all this itinerary, the shifting and the changing are like meant to be. Then we make some very good decisions. We cut short a lot of things. Then we finish off the last day at Uthai just left with one itinerary. Then we decide to go straight to Taiyuan early. Oh, luckily we went there early. The food was good. The hotel was good, conducive, and we had a good rest there. Then we stayed there. Then after Taiyuan, of course, the next few visit was not really anything related to spiritual, but it's more like sightseeing, visit the museum and all those things. Of course, we also have a nice experience at Taiyuan, that one street where we go and do some shopping and walk around with the street food and all those things. Then we also get to know a lot of history behind Taiyuan, where our guide Linda was from Taiyuan, and she has been in this tour business for the last 22 years, since 2002. And her English was good, perfect. That's why all this fall into place. Then on our way back also, the high-speed train experience and all the good condition that allow us to finally reach Beijing. Although we reached late, by the time we reached the hotel almost 10:30, but it was a very nice hotel. And the breakfast that next morning, although short, was very good. And then we move on to the airport, which is just 5-10 minutes away, and the whole trip concluded successfully, and we had a very good, we should say, a very rich and inspiring, with a lot of faith and understanding, spiritual trip that enable us to have two very good sharing, which Jin Hao has actually developed the video, and he has finally added in some of the thing through some minor editing to express the meaning clearer, where he captured some of the shot and he put it in the background, so that those who are not there, you can understand what we meant by those at Zhong Tai Hao. Actually, when we went in to the main hall, Da Xiong Bao Tian, before we reached there, all the heavenly beings, like the Devis or the singer, they were built by the temple people, and the manifestation was so beautiful, and the weather, everything was so conducive, and everything just for the place, the nature, the setting. So these were the beautiful aspect of the spiritual trip that we managed to accomplish and develop the understanding. And this is how all this can be understood when you have the faith, when you have the correct cultivation and understanding, and wherever you go. In fact, all our spiritual trip, they end up very beautifully. And it's like meant to be. So like Alicia shared some, which is also very beautiful. And even a lot of other Kayamita, and I think Puja joined us for the first time. She also felt very good. And of course, there were other Kayamita like MB, they all, and even the new one, this Xiaoling, MB's good friend. She also felt very good. And Casey and Tracy also, they enjoyed themselves. And Sister Anne, Li Hun, and many other Kaya meters, even Brother Song, Jin Hao, PG, although PG got some bus sickness and all those things, but nevertheless she enjoyed the trip, and also Mun Yuen. Then we also have Brother Pang. I think he was also there. Then of course Puja Sister Han. So there's a total of 23 of us plus Mr. 24, then plus Linda 25. So the whole trip was really memorable and amazingly spiritually very I should say very meaningful and of course beautiful in its own amazing way. Oh, okay, Alicia, sorry. You should continue.
Brother Dio, 对我而言，这一次的 spiritual trip 是很圆满的，很讲就是我觉得很非常的 wonderful， 因为despite 你看起来好像没有什么，但是你可以从中的学习到很多，你也看很多从中就是 Mr. 跟 Linda 怎么样的用心的去尽量的帮我们照顾得好，对，我感觉到很感动。
Even a lot of things never planned, it just unfold. 好像 Pamasuri, the birthday, actually it was not planned, the schedule or not there, but it just fall into place and unfold. And Mr. Suddenly willing to make it so grand. Although it doesn't cost him much, but at least he take the effort to hire the 2 singers, you remember? It's like a private band, but we only need to actually buy some flowers and request some songs, and they are willing to sing for us. And that whole event was very memorable, joyful, especially for Brother Timo and Sister Pamasuri. Then, like Sister Pamasuri mentioned, he never told her, and nobody knew until that day itself. So all these are meant to be. They even fall into place. Then we had a lot of fun actually. The singers were good, and I like the meaningful song that they sang. 朝拜五台山 very meaningful. Like Pamasri mentioned, 把幸福带回家. Then don't know what marriage for the parents or what. So very beautiful. And all those who went to Uthai they have faith on them. And like I mentioned, the whole Uthai the Manjusri Bodhisattva, Vensu Pusa, the nature's energy is very strong and is pervading in the whole of that area. And a certain area is extraordinarily tranquil and still. That's why people have a lot of faith, and a lot of people go there. They have faith and they actually develop the what they call faith to not only go there, perform wholesomeness, merits, and cultivate affinity with Vensu Pusa. And many monks and cultivators of the way, including Xu Yun and many famous monks, they have good encounter and story about Utai San. That's why this way place is very unique. 15 years ago I went there, I already felt that nature's energy is very different. That's why, because of course and condition, I'm willing to take you all for the second time. And we met that monk that I met 15 years ago at Zhongtai Terrace. That monk is very cute and very, I should say, well cultivated in the sense that he can understand a lot of things and he has the Dhamma. That's why when we asked him, he has been there for how long? He said 15 to 16 years. And Yu Chan went with me the first trip, which was 2009. You minus 2024 is exactly 15 years. And he was there actually 1 year earlier. Then when I was there, I met him. And he talked to me, and that time I can sense he's a good monk. And I was surprised when I was there. He was the one that greeted us and the one that knew that something is happening because of the weather. Is it 今天的天气很神奇很不一样means it's meant to be. Yeah, Alicia, yes, continue. Yeah.
Talking about 我们回到去其实我们要回到去太原的时候，不是到最后一站，我们有去一个叫崇善寺。
对
，actually，在我们还没有去到太原的时候的前一天，我早上起来就是看电话的时候就谷歌到这一个崇善寺，但是我不懂为什么我好像很想去这个崇善寺。
OK
然后因为我很想去，然后我就在吃早餐的时候就问 Mr. 可以跟你讲一句话吗？太阳是不在 itinerary 里面的，你就不要跟我讲。然后我就讲 OK 啦，那就没 condition 去了哈。然后我就没有再去讲这么多。但是到第二天我还是很想去，就说在我们去那个步行街的里面有，因为它很靠近嘛。所以我就想，那我怎样的可以自己去嘛？这样子就5点钟就起来谷歌做功课看怎么样去。然后后来看一下就好像没有 condition， 然后我就放弃了。然后我讲应该是没有 condition 去了，那就没事了，就不去。然后等到吃饭还是吃饭前还是吃饭后，琳达就说给我们去。然后
说因为有时间嘛，
然后我的心里面其实我心里面是很高兴的，但是他又高兴不起来。然后就当我们 approaching 那个崇善寺的时候，我的心里面在 vibrating， 好像就好像这间寺庙我好像有很多的法喜在里面。
对。
然后等到我走进去的时候，他们说看不到那个。
因为 renovation 盖住。
对，但是 despite 我没有看到那个文殊菩萨哦，但是我在周围看了一下之后我有一个说不出的感觉在心里面，就好像有一股 energy 在那边 moving 这样。
沙度。
然后after that我又讲不出来，因为好像要哭又哭不出来，然后我们就很快就上车了嘛，走回去的时候。
对。
然后当我站在那边的时候满愿跟我讲话我就不能大谈，因为我好像在里面定下来这样。
对。
然后我就觉得，后来我就觉得我的 thought say， 哎呀，你很没有礼貌这样子，但是我就没有然后摆摊我上车的时候就感觉很像很爱睡，就好像我平时爱 meditate。
Miss he want you to meditate。
对，然后我就静下来，然后就去meditation 这样子。然后过了一阵子之后，其实那个时间是非常的短，因为很靠近步行街的嘛。但是他在我 meditation 那个时候我的那个 area 那边一直开开到没有 boundary 去，你知道没有
沙度 the oneness
开到没有 boundary 没有 boundary 去之后呢这代我就好像什么都没有了，连这个身体也没有掉了。
沙度
我就好像睡掉这样。
睡了一阵子这样。
对，睡了。然后当我出回来的时候他们讲到了，然后我就慢慢的出回来。
沙度
根本我没有去
跟那边有感应啊。
对，
No wonder 我到那边我看到那个 wall 南无大慈大悲观世音菩萨 big letter on the whole wall. So when I saw that, I knew something is happening, but I don't know what it is because I don't have this what they call cultivation that enable me to have the psychic. I cannot touch psychic, but I can sense that word has its meaning. And why they spend so much effort writing all those big characters, over the entire boundary entrance there, which is I think about 100 feet long. And that one gave me very good what they call like understanding that this place is meant to be. Although it's under renovation, we can't see much. But the two sides, at the side there are two building where there is some images inside that. But the original one under renovation, that one we cannot see. But if you can develop the affinity with the energy there and go through that experience and transformation, means it's meant to be. That's why it can happen. It can happen. So sadhu to you. Normally, like you say, for Mr. If it's not in the itinerary, unless, like he explained, he can fit in or what, they will try to. Otherwise, they cannot do anything where it's not part of our itinerary. But like we say, a lot of things depend on our sensitivity. If our nature have the understanding, if it's meant to be, it will be, then it will unfold and we will be there. So now that you explain what happened to you, I start to understand why that thing can happen. Normally, like I told my daughter and my wife, I say, if it's not in the itinerary, if you all will come and ask me, I say, don't trouble yourself to go. But this one, somehow, it didn't come to me, and among you all, you all arrange. Then last minute only I come to know that we are going there. See? Although I received your WhatsApp the morning before, so I just let things be. I say, whatever it is, if it's meant to be, will be. So it unfolds. That's why nature has its own beautiful way of unfolding things. Sadhu, 很好啊。
Yeah, but actually 在这个过程里面，我所学习到的是，有些事不能勉强，
对，
有些
不能勉强的，
要顺其
just
自
let
然，
things be, accord
对，
and
要
flow.
顺其自然，因为当你放下的时候，你不去执着的时候，它又 manifest
它就现出来。
对，所以这个因缘法真的不容易。
Yeah. That's why I say the final wisdom understanding is to understand causes and conditions, 因缘法. That's why the Diamond Sutta, the famous stanza, is start with 一切有为法. If you can understand that stanza, 一切有为法 means you understand 因缘法. And 因缘法 is what nature's conditions and manifestation are. Things is just the way it is, like the Buddha said. Whatever arises, there are causes and conditions behind. 从一个 stanza, 一个 statement, the wisdom behind is very, very profound. So now more and more of Kayamita, like Alicia, and many others, you all will start to develop the understanding of what 因缘法 is all about. What the true Dhamma manifestation and unfolding basing on causes and conditions is all about. The ultimate wisdom is to understand 因缘法. That's why the law of dependent origination or paticca samuppada, 十二因缘法, that one is the most powerful Dhamma. When you see that, awaken to that, then to stabilize the understanding and to make it a part of your nature, to understand this Dhamma is not easy. you have to go through many phases of stability or understanding to enable your nature to manifest that understanding. That's why I realized from my past I already developed it. That's why this life I come many segmented life, this life. Like I say, I didn't do anything. Everything just arise and happen, and I just accord and flow. Like everything is already pre-arranged, pre-planned through the understanding and everything. That's why our latest book I mentioned that. When it come out, I think it's going to be ready soon, and it will mesh with our retreat in 2 months' time, which is I think August, end of August. So during that time, that book will go through, and it will give rise to a lot of understanding and faith to Kayamita. Then from there, it extends to the message of the gathering of Kayamita end of the year, October 31st this year. It is the 20th anniversary of my nature's coming out to share, and it coincides with my segmented form and mind's 70th birthday. So all this like meant to be, and within this short period of uh, almost 20 years, we managed to accomplish so much of the Dhamma activity and sharing. That's why our journey, the 20 years of Kailamanataship, has been so amazingly wonderful and beautiful, including all those who help out the website, the printing of the Dhamma books and all those things, and our fellowship, Kayamita fellowship, spiritual trips and activity that we were able to accomplish through all this Dhamma activity and sharing, especially the establishment of the Kayamita Fund and all the common fund for our spiritual activity and trip. This has helped many Kayamita to develop a lot of wholesomeness that is beyond your comprehension. That's why the moment I decide to come out, I already had all this understanding. That's why I started off with the Kayamita Fund, and I don't want to have a society. I just call our grouping Brother Theos Kayamita, and from there we develop our activity. That's why we don't have a proper registered organization. We don't have proper entity, and yet we were able to get the Sampo Temple to allow us to officially hold annual retreat there, because people judge us from the way we conduct ourselves. And many of the spiritual trips, like Mr. came to know, the monastery that were very strict because of earlier bad experiences of people going there, they actually don't want to let outsiders come to their monastery anymore. And yet, we managed to visit some of the famous monastery. And after that, the abbot and the abbess, they were very happy with us. And all these are like meant to be. So beautiful, Alicia Sadhu. Luckily you share
Yeah.
that part.
是的，就其实这就是他，这一次我去这个 spiritual trip 哦，我所学习到的很多很多，因为它不只是，我只是说我的 faith 对那个Manjushri Bodhisattva 就是文殊菩萨的那个真的非常非常的奥妙，因为
对
despite 我们上山的路啊 with 那个 van
对，
哦。
不可思议
对，那个somehow那个 energy 可以令我整个人整个行程睡到上去的。
then also 你遇见很多这个地藏王菩萨的那个รูป棒啊，很漂亮的哦，我看到哦，very beautiful。 Especially there was one temple, I think, was it the Nan Thai or what? Oh, before we went up to the stupa to take photo, you remember? At the side, the Wang Pusa. Oh, that one was very beautiful. Then even at the Zhong Tai also there is one, where the young monk was. So your affinity with Wang Pusa is very strong. And that way place, we visited a lot of great beings nature, even Kuan Yin Pusa. Then Amitabha, of course, then Milorpho, and Pusen Pusa together with the Virachana Buddha, then the Sifang Sansen, then the then there was also the Hawaiian Sansen, all together. We actually encountered them, and there were a lot of the whole Uttaisana is full of this type of monastery and temple that has a lot of very beautiful energy and history behind. That's why that trip is very, very unique and very amazingly wonderful. So, 真的, hopefully it will give rise to a lot of faith to Kayamitas, especially those who go. I think their faith is very different now because you can see and witness the manifestation. Even my daughter was so excited. It's the first time she saw those manifestations. And really in front of her, the cloud formation and the things that happen. These are spiritual activity. That's why we call it, under the Theravada tradition teaching, natural occurrences that will occur when certain events take place, like the passing away of the great being Sakyamuni, or the birth of the great being, the enlightenment of the great being, or people with virtue and great parami when they arise, or when they visit that place or come by. A lot of things will happen. And all this, you will start to witness them. That's why these are all we call nature's occurrences or nature's occurrences. And it's nothing to do with psychic. It is nature's way of arranging all this formation for you to witness so that you can have the faith to really go for and continue with your culture. Man Yuen, you put out your hand. Come in, Man Yuen. Let Man Yuen add in. Man Yuen, come in.
Good afternoon, Radio, Mrs. Liu and all Kalamita. I just want to express my gratitude and appreciation because I get a chance to go to this wonderful trip. I just want to express this because for this time I thought it wasn't so easy for me to go because of my parents, but yet I could go. And when I was there, it felt a bit different from the other trips for me.
Definitely. Well, now your understanding is so much better now.
I mean, the feeling was like I'm more at ease. Everything like fall into place, and I felt good. I cannot really explain.
You had a lot of joy, we can see. The food was good too. And the Kayamita ship was beautiful, and the fun that we had while we were on that trip, especially celebrating Pamasuri's birthday, and even encountering people who are so meaningful and joyful, like the abbot, the monks, and all those things.
And even like when I'm not at the temple, even in the Wutaisan, the hotel room, I just feel that it was very silent.
Very still.
Very still, yes. Then especially the day when you were having the first sharing,
yes,
the
that night.
sharing, when I walk into the room and I walk to come in,
The energy very strong, very strong.
Because Brother Teo was really talking, that means there is sound, but then I just felt that it was very silent.
Yeah,
Very,
stillness at the heart there. And
I don't
all
know.
of you, even though so tired, like what Sister Alicia mentioned, but every one of us was alert, attentively listening with the faith and joy. That if we were to continue, I think midnight also we won't end. That's why all these are like meant to be, will be, and it will fall into place. Good that you really put up your hand and want to share all this. Sadhu. Continue, Yamaya. Yes.
Yeah, and I also aware that at certain period of time I have this negativity of thoughts.
That one no problem. Yeah, when you are more aware, more mindful, you can see them. So don't worry, because these are not you. Through delusion, it dependent originating, it condition out. So this one will come to pass. Finally, when you understand, it will cease. All this, what we call wrong thought, habitual tendency that we accumulated over time before we develop the understanding, they will still appear, then they will still come to pass. Then later on, when your wisdom and understanding stabilize, then you start to understand the true teaching, that these are healers thinking, because at that time when you lack the Dhamma understanding, the stability of it, it will continue to surface. Sometimes this habitual tendency, although you may go through some form of understanding, transformation, but the word is habitual tendency. So initially it was still surface. But the moment it surfaces, your wisdom take over, yoniso manasikara, spontaneously it will understand. Sankhara anicca, sankhara dukkha, dhamma anatta, then it ceases. Then you know all these are dependent originating condition arising, not a permanent unchanging entity. No mark, no self, nothing. Then it ceases. It continues to cease. And then after some time, the stability of understanding, you realize it cannot arise anymore. That Monday mind cannot do that thing anymore. Then, of course, later on, when you connect to the nature, locate the gateway, then when it transforms until your Monday mind collapse, then the whole thing is gone. Like inside there, empty, only that true nature, the true mind shine forth. Then during that time is the most beautiful. You are with that nature. You are one with that nature. And throughout the day, you are in that state of awareness, clarity, without the mundane mind, the mundane activity. And that is a transformation. That is what the third phase of Dhamma is, Pativeda. You get to live the life of a true awakened being. The form and mind can go through that type of transformation. Then the wisdom that is connected to that thing, the form and mind, the Namarup, that is the one that live life, understand? That is the one that can understand everything, where the wisdom is connected. Both the unconditioned and the conditioned Dhamma wisdom is connected to that form and mind. That's why the form and mind you can say is enlightened, but it's not you, understand? But that one is a phenomenon, dependent originating. That one has its own entity. It's not a permanent and changing entity, but it's related to you, where it's karmically conditional. And that one, you can make use of it. That's why the Heart Sutra mentioned very clearly, when you realize true emptiness connected to the form and mind, then life becomes wonderful. 真空妙有 means in true emptiness. Once you realize that, then life or existence become wonderful, meaningful, amazingly beautiful. So all this, they will be understood and it will unfold in stages as we go through the cultivation. That's why this Supreme Vehicle cultivation, the journey is very beautiful, very rewarding. The word is very rewarding. As you continue to cultivate, to develop the understanding and go through the perfection of the 10 paramitas, more and more beautiful and wonderful and amazing things continue to unfold. And it's like, oh, life can be really this way. That's why beyond people's wildest dream and understanding. Like I used to say, you may think a lot of things that happen is fairy tale, but the actual happening is even more fantastic than fairy tale. And the way it unfolds is really, for those who can see, can understand, sense they have this nature, you can see them unfolding so beautifully. And a lot of the Maya Sutta, they thought is frictional. The description before the thing. No, it's not friction. When you go through it, you will understand that these are all nature's occurrences. It can happen. That's why cultivation, spiritual cultivation and understanding is not what the mundane thought or thinking can comprehend or fathom. It is beyond thought, beyond mind, beyond the conditioned world. Of course, there is such thing as life existent within the conditioned world. And the conditioned world can be very, very beautiful and meaningful. And this is the beauty. Although not so real, not what you would think, but there is such thing as life existent. And existence and life, even though it's only within the moment, arise and pass away, but there is existential reality within that is so marvelous, wonderful, beautiful, and meaningful. And we can use the thought, the words to describe it so that people can develop the understanding. So this is the marvel and wonder of spiritual understanding. It can transcend the unconditioned and the conditioned, so that you develop the true meaning of life, to live life. Although not real, and yet it has its own reality and existence. And this part is the best. You don't exist, no mark, nothing, but yet there is life, there is existence, and there is deep beauty and meaning of existence and life when you have the wisdom to comprehend it. That's why penetrating through emptiness is the essence to understand all this. The word is 真空. When you realize true emptiness, 真空, then everything can be understood and existence become wonderful. Very good. Vanya, good. Sadhu. You continue, yeah. You created good condition for Dhamma sharing.
Thank you, right?
To Alicia, yeah.
Brother Teo, sorry.
没事Alicia, you come in also, no problem. Okay.
Brother Teo, 刚才你讲到真空妙有，以前 Brother Teo 讲真空妙有，我其实不太懂。但是在我去五台山的 I think 大概2个星期，我突然间在我的就是我的lying down meditation 里面，我真正的aha 到这个4个字
aha moment, yeah, sadhu.
他所谓的有，他明白到的所谓的有，就是只是一个因缘法。
对，因缘法sadhu, very good, very true, accurate to the point.
后来我一看那个《金刚经》那个4个 stanza 我好像
一切有为法，
那个《金刚经》里面的有为法，就是说来他这个字倒反来读更加的清楚的明白到这个所谓的真空妙有。所以我想讲的是，接下来我去五台山这个 trip，我在当下的就是我在当下的 manifestation， 就是说一个 format 在那个当下怎么样的生活，怎么 样的去 carry 我的 daily life， 怎样的去 blend in into the group，you know， 所有的
对，
一切的刹那刹那哦，不然就很清楚，好像
对，沙丢，
你没有很多的讲那个杂念来 obstruct，
对
block 住你等一下要做什么，等一下他不是，他是很 spontaneous， 该做的做，他每一个 moment 你都很清楚，这样，
对 there
所
is
以
clarity behind on
对
all the manifestation 你一清一楚的
对，所以
沙丢，
感到哇，原来这个所谓的一切哦，其实是真的是有一个冥冥中就是所有的
that is the marvel the 奥妙的神奇的 aspect
呀，所以其实这个，所以以前 brother 每天讲真空妙有，让我回想起，其实 brother 丢讲的达玛，其实讲的听的，你未必当下你听了，你也未必能够真正的就是说去真正的理解它的 very profound
until your
meaning。
cultivation move on to those phases and stages
所以我想讲的就是这个，所以其实就要讲的真的是很 you know I mean 很多的，因为
神话有时候讲不完嘛，他说真空妙有讲不完的，他说讲到他死都讲不完的，是吧everything is so wonderful
就是就很感恩而且
we should rejoice actually with all the manifestation happening, outcome and understanding. And this spiritual trip is yet really another very wonderful and meaningful spiritual trip. It's the same as the previous one, but this one is more intense in the sense that I take you all there for the second time. And now, with my nature having transformed over the 15 years, it's different again. That's why before we went, I think they all there know already. They plan all this. That's why they want our itinerary to shift. We have to shift, and all this will fall into place. It's meant to be. That's why it cannot be on the weather after that. You look at it. I let you plan also. You cannot plan nothing like that. And everything is like meant to be. 很好沙丢
就是我的 understanding 再加上就是当下你环境不一样，空气天气也不一样，所以我们要怎样的去照顾我们的身体，就是另外一个 understanding。所以这一次我很感恩，让我明白到我们的 perception 或者我们的所有的那种负面的那个 DVD 不要有，就是跟着一直这样子去 no 跟着那个这个 condition 去 manifest， 让我你看我吃得好，睡得饱，真的很
是咯，很多人跟我讲很好睡因为这个N 中也跟我讲。你说不这个很好睡especially at the hotel 太原的the hotel was beautiful. Luckily we cut short the itinerary until the last day, like we won. Then we reached there early for something, and we had a good time resting in that hotel. And the hotel was very beautiful, very good. Then that night also we had a very short sharing to discuss certain things. That's why even that 20 minutes also end up half an hour, if I'm not wrong. Then, of course, it is really beautiful. And every one of us was so like full of joy, fast singer, and the faith develops. And that hotel really very wonderful. And he upgraded my room to the executive room, and it was very beautiful. When you all came, you all realized even your room also, the standard room also very beautiful. The marble, everything, the way they do it. It's a very new hotel, but very well done. And opposite is our shopping. the mall and all those things. Then we get to see the nightlife and all those things. That's why that day at Taiwan was worth it. And on the way, because we were early, and Linda happened to be a local, she told us a lot of things that you cannot get from other guys, because being a local is still the one that has the understanding. So she herself was so full of joy. He had never taken a spiritual group that has all this fantastic encounter. She herself was amazed. He called me 老师. So I also don't know why he called me 老师, but I think it fit in well. And every time he wanted to consult me, he said 老师, 老师. And she asked me a lot of very good questions, which clear up her doubt of what the Dhamma is. And now her faith in the Dhamma very strong. I saw her donating on her own at many places. She now developed the faith and the understanding. And you look at her, she got a daughter, 70 years old already. Man, she is not that young. I think 40 or 40 plus. So all these are meant to be, and she is, I think, one of the best English speaking guy in Taiwan that managed to get, and according to he has to pay the higher what we call price to get her to actually lead us and become our Taoyu. Then I think for Mr. So I think he did a good job. He actually ordered a lot of good food for us and paid through his own expense. So that's why our final tip to him is also meant to cover for whatever that he expand over. And he was full of joy. And this trip, he really enjoyed. And he said after this trip, he got to rest almost 10 days before his next trip. So the previous one was back to back, less than 1 day rest. So Mr. also now developed the faith and the understanding. Very good. Oh, 6 o'clock. So anything else, Alicia? Otherwise, you wind up, then we let Man Yuan wind up.
Yeah, okay. Brother, 还有一个更 amazing thing happened when 我回到家的时候，我的家是每次都有那个 surround 的餐厅的嘛。
对对对。
但是回来我听到的餐厅不是那个马来人的餐厅，不然就他 hearing 很奇怪。
傻掉。
他没有分别出来。
对 ，you will reach a stage， 你不会有那个分别心了的。Then all the vibration, if it's good vibration, you will just take it in and you feel very good. You feel very good about it.
So 感恩 Brother Dio， 感恩所有的，真的很多的感恩呐，真的是感恩。
对。
还有Linda，还有就是很感恩，他还给我们 souvenir， 虽然是小
那个观世音跟不是心经跟那个文殊菩萨是吗？那个 like go for it。
So 我虽然是小小的礼物，但是对我而言的
对 very meaningful， very meaningful。
所以
他们想得到去买这些有意义的 very meaningful 的 gift。
是很细心，他们很细心。
对 ，it's from their heart。
sincere。And then 所以我的 sharing 就到这里，感恩 Brother Dio。
沙丢。Man Yuan your turn。
Oh yeah, right here. The last bit is I realized that a lot of other Palimita is very different from me. I mean, in terms of their habits and the way they do things, you know. So, how to say? Like I might find a bit annoying, but this time a bit different. Like that lah. They are like that.
They are just the way they are 嘛，你懂了吗？
It's not like they are right, I'm wrong, or they are wrong, I'm right.
No more already.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. No more meaning already. They are just the way they are.
Not annoyance. It's like there will be a question. Why they act like that?
No longer have that. Last time you used to have a lot of all those things. That's why as you progress in your cultivation, your understanding develop this type of equanimity in you. You become like more and more adaptable to things, and no more right and wrong. Right and wrong is convention, not a reality. Reality is thing is just the way it is. The world is the world. People are just the way they are. Then you start to see. That's why there is no more like discrimination. Well, why these people are that? No. Sometimes out of compassion, you felt for them. You see. If it's not delusion, they will not end up like that. It is because of sakayaditi, lack of Dhamma understanding. That's why their life has become like that. And there is no such thing as pity or what. He know you, he know me, no reality. But everything is just unfolding, like the Diamond Sutta stanza, 一切有为法. And no reality in the sense that 如梦幻泡影, dreamlike, illusion, and like a bubble, come and go, then like shadow following you around. So all these are very good analogy of what the phenomenal world of consciousness is all about. It's like a magician unfolding the illusion, the illusionary world. That's why the description of illusionary world is very beautiful. The conditioned world of form and mind. So all these are manifestation of the phenomenal world of consciousness. And within consciousness, it has its content. And this is what the world is. This is what life, existence is. Consciousness and its content through karmic, through all the other nature's law, it manifests. Then no reality. That's why it's called everything is conditioned Dhamma, 一切有为法. Like my daughter come to know, a lot of things must fall into play before anything can happen. You think it's easier. It's meant to be, that's why. And when it unfolds, he look at it with understanding. He say, I have to understand it so that I embrace it, that I don't suffer anymore. Otherwise you will suffer or no. Why like that? Why I so sweet? Why this thing must happen to me? Why can't I avoid it? All this is what the thought tell you. Cannot one. The reality is 一切有为法. Condition like that, things be like that. Cannot be otherwise. You don't try to be too smart or what. It cannot be different already. If you want things your way, it's not nature's way, you suffer. And that understanding really need to be understood and penetrated. Otherwise your life never will become conducive for you to be in the state of joy, happiness, and peace. You always have conflict on otherwise. You want things your way. And your way is not nature's way. Your way is your delusion and selfishness and all the mental entanglement that actually create more suffering and miserable. So all this is the beauty of it. Mun Yuen, very good, Sadhu. So you see now different, huh?
Yeah, because I thought maybe they will also think, yeah, why Mun Yuen like that one?
No, now they see Mun Yuen differently. You no longer like before moody. I saw you with so much joy. Even Sui Deo can see, all the Kaimeta can see. Now Jin Hao also got a lot of joy. Now we realize. That every time we cannot find the two of you, we say, don't worry, you will be safe. Anything else, Maya?
No more, brother Theo. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let us rejoice with the good sharing by Sister Alicia and Manya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let us now share merits, starting with the Devas. Akka Satta Chil Pumata Devanaga Mahindika Punyang Tang Anumoditwa Chirang Rakantu Loka Sasana Itta vatta ca amehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyati nang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyati nang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyati nang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo Devo Satakalena Sasa Sampati Hetu Cha Fito Bhavatu Loko Cha Raja Bhavatu Dhammiko Imina Punyang Kamena Mame Bala Samagamo Satang Samagamo Hotu Yawa Nivana Patiya Sadhu Sadhu, sadhu. Okay, you all can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we will end the whole Zoom sharing. Thank you for your participation. Sadhu.